Hello again, it's Noob, and I recently bought this off-brand Lishi-Style 2-in-1 pick for the American lock, and this is the AM5 keyway, and I bought it for a few reasons. One being it was incredibly cheap. I think it was around £6 UK, somewhere around $8 US, something like that. And also because I wanted to try and measure the bitting of this Series 260 American lock, just because I don't have a key for it, and taking the plug out seems difficult at best. And I guess thirdly and finally, I really like picking American Lock 1100 series padlocks, and I just wanted to do a little comparison. What are these 2-in-1 picks like, picking these locks which I know so well and am so familiar with just using standard hand picking tools. But there is an issue, and it's not the price and not the quality, it's the fit. Now the tool fits in and picks very well the Series 260, so no problem there. That's a win, surely. But there is a big problem with this pick, and it's not a problem with the build quality or the price. Both of those are perfectly fine. It's not even really functionality. It's a problem of me not noticing something, and I do think I'm responsible for this, and that's that this particular pick isn't able to pick the American Lock 1100 series locks as it stands. Why? It's not a profile or keyway issue. After all, it will fit nicely into the American Lock 1100 series padlock keyway. That's great, but it doesn't actually go all the way down into the keyway past that anti-pull cover to tension, and that sort of bit here, this bit that sticks out, is where it needs to lie flat against the lock like this. So I wonder if I can easily fix that. We're only about 3 to 4 millimeters away from this being right, which is about that much. So I'm wondering whether I can cut away using a rotary multi-tool that much of the metal here. And just looking at the top, we might need to just file round this part just here. So one is sort of grinding away and one is filing. So I'm going to do that right now, very quickly. Come back and see if we can't make this cheap AM5 2-in-1 pick multifunctional. Before I start cutting into this, I do just want to say there is a small concern I have, and that is that this part of the pick acts as a sort of guide for the tip, and it does have a small little tack weld there. So when I do grind this part off, I want to make sure I try not to get that little weld, because it would definitely weaken the structure, and I don't want that. And if you were to do this yourself, you want to make sure that you also don't disturb the welds, so you may or may not get away with this. So I've now finished the grinding process. You can see how I've taken that little step off from the bottom, which should allow the tension tip here to slide into the keyway. I did round off the edges here, maybe a little bit too vigorously on this little section here, but I haven't affected the two little spot welds there. The pick tip does go freely side to side. Now what I have found, which is interesting, is I know this is an American Lock 5, which is the 5-pin variant, but I do have a 6-pin key, and you'll see that despite there being 6 markings here, the tip will not reach, if I align these properly, it will not reach the 6th pin position, only the 5th, which doesn't make sense. But what doesn't make sense is why it says 1, 2, 6 there. In fact, pin 1 is here, pin 2 is about here, pin 3 is about in the middle, pin 4 is roughly where 5 is, and pin 5 is roughly where 6 is. So I'm not sure I really trust any of these markings on here, but does it work as a 2-in-1 pick? After all, we're not all going to be decoding these locks and cutting keys for them. You know, not for a pick that you got for just over a £5. Well, I do have somewhere a 5-pin American lock, and I believe that most American locks are pinned to 5 from factory, especially the 1100 series. And you see here that we have full range of movement, so pin 6 is there all the way down to pin 1. So this is definitely for a 5-pin American lock. So here is a 5-pin American lock, and let's just see whether this pick seats well into it. So want that tensioning tip there right up to the front of the keyway, which we have due to our modifications. Just check that the pick tip glides across the pin stacks okay. We can bully it a little bit if we need to, but yes, that feels okay. Let's just try pin 1. Nothing on that. Nothing on 2. 3 is somewhere around here on position 4. Little click. Oh, and a false set. Nothing on 4. Check pin 5 here. Cancel rotation. And that felt okay. Might try that again. Yeah, we got it. And then nothing on, what did we say? That was 4, nothing on 3. Where's 2? We're somewhere around here, aren't we, for 2? Cancel rotation. And that felt good, but do we drop pin 5 at the back? Yeah, we did, and we have the open. There we go. So, what do I think to this? I think that if you found this cheap for about £5 or £6 and you didn't mind doing a bit of modification, it's not too bad. I don't like the fact that the scale is off on this because it doesn't make me trust any of the cut depths either. Although if you're going to make a key by eye and use this as a relative measurement, then it would work okay. I would say shop around and make sure you actually get probably an official Lishi 2-in-1 pick for the American locks. That way you can probably trust the scales on these a bit better, and you probably don't have to modify the pick tips. So there's probably a lesson to be learned in there somewhere. Still, if you found this video interesting, please do leave it a like. If you haven't subscribed to my channel and want to see more content like this, obviously subscribing would really help me out, as would hitting that notification bell for more content like this as it comes up. If you have any comments about this tool, then leave them below. I do read them all and reply to as many as I can. Otherwise, stay safe, happy picking, and I'll see you all next time.